Hello, hello. Welcome to TikTok. What's going on, people? My name is Austin Hamilton, also known as the Porn Coach, the coach of porn. We are here to discuss very unpopular opinions, such as the notion that pornography may or may not be cheating. So, the question of the day is porn cheating? If you're using pornography well in a relationship, would you consider that to be a violation of the agreement in the relationship? So, if you'd like to chat, you can go ahead and request to chat. You can share your opinion, share a story. You can argue, you can debate, you can tell me about your porn addiction, how maybe somebody you know and love watches porn and it bothers you. Or you can just sit here, be along for the ride, because it's going to be a wild ride. It always is. By the way, give me a follow if you don't follow me already. If you like my content, if you don't like my content, why don't you just follow me anyways? Come back and argue with the people in my comments sometime. It's fun. Try it. You might like it. So with that, is porn cheating? Depends. I'm Monica. Depends. I'm Monica. Hi. Depends. I'm Monica. Is PID real and is it curable? Well, one, consult your physician. Two, yes, it's real. Curable? I have seen people have successfully break through it. All right, so who wants to be my first guest? Depends on relationship, not really cheating, but unacceptable. As someone who went through this, yes, he argued it's not an affair. It is. Well, Wendy, what do you think it is? Garrett Sherwood said yes. Awesome, and I've been to a doc already. Take away the X. We still have a messed up generation. Yes. Affair. No, it's not. Is porn cheating? 3 months coming up PMO free. Nice job. Let's go. Hey there. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks. Is porn cheating?
It's not cheating, but there's a boundary when it comes to it, like the expectation of like limited. Like if you're doing it like every day, then I think that comes to like an emotional attachment. If you're watching a certain person, but if it's a variety, then no.
All right, so every day is a problem, but if it's 6 times a week masturbating while watching strangers have sex, you're okay with that?
As long as it's not the same person.
The same
Because
person.
then you're like, yeah,
hold
it just can't be the same person.
Let me get this straight. For you in your relationship, if your partner masturbates while watching strangers have sex every day, that's a problem. But if they only do it 6 times a day, and as long as it's a different stranger every time, you're good with it.
So I take back the days part, because if like, you can't really say some days it is and some days it doesn't. If it's the same person, it's an issue.
Okay.
Because then you're like...
So as long as your partner diversifies who he's masturbating to, you're fine with it?
Yeah.
Okay, so like hundreds of people, thousands of people, millions of people that he can be watching and masturbating to and orgasming over that aren't you, and your thumbs up to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to me, I feel like it's going to happen either way. Like, you can either, I mean, I'm sure there's some men out there that don't, but I feel like with today's society, it's hard to find someone who won't watch it at all.
Well, what would you prefer? Someone who doesn't watch porn or someone who does watch porn?
I would prefer not at all.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to have a partner who doesn't watch porn?
I do think it's possible. I just think it's difficult to find that. But I don't think that's an unrealistic expectation.
Hold on. A lot of things in life that are worth striving for are difficult.
Right.
Right? So what? So it sounds like you've lowered your standards?
when it comes to that, I feel like yes, I feel like it could be higher, like higher expectations of like what us women deserve, or I guess it goes like men too. It goes both ways.
What
I
do you
do feel like
deserve?
it comes, I mean, realistically, everybody deserves someone who's going to give them that physical attention and mental, like it's a mental thing too.
Do you deserve
Now
that?
you're making me think the opposite way.
Great. Challenging your beliefs.
Yeah.
Do you believe you deserve that?
Yeah.
Then why not stand for that?
Right. It just is hard because it's like every person just is like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. So it's
Yeah,
just
but do you
yeah,
want to be like every person?
no,
No, no. If you try to be like every person, no.
right,
So why not take a stand for that? Say, this is what I believe I'm worth, and I believe I should be seen like this. I'm going to stand for
right,
that.
yeah,
Could you get behind that?
yeah, 100%,
Yeah. And look, I get it. It's hard, right? How old are you? In
yeah,
your 20s?
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, pornography runs rampant everywhere, unfortunately.
yeah,
However, if you lower your standard to that, what's the next thing you'll lower your standard to?
right.
Just
It's
because
like a
it's normal.
downfall. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what are you thinking?
definitely kind of switching it up a little bit there. Um, I felt like before, so I was in a relationship. I have a 3-year-old, so I was in a relationship with his dad for a very long time. And definitely got the idea of like, you know what, like I'm busy with a kid, like you obviously like need to be satisfied in yourself as well. Like didn't really think anything of it, but it does upset me. Like it was something that was upsetting. Like that hurts to know that like you're getting attention from something else. Um, so I guess that should have been like where my mind went. Like why is it any different? Why do I allow myself to feel like upset about something like that when it's an easy preventative of like that's not something I'm going to accept.
Yeah, so you were kind of green lighting him using pornography because you had a kid and
Right.
he needed to to get off in that
Right.
way. Yeah, yeah. But that didn't turn out the way you thought it would.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing: is it is possible, right? Yeah. Have you followed me before, or did you just jump on here?
I just jumped on. It's an interesting
Okay.
topic. So,
Yeah, well, so stick around, enjoy the show. But I watched porn for 20 years. It escalated to physical cheating with my wife and ruined my life. I'm still married to the same woman. We've been married for 13 years, and it is possible. Okay, and if we give up hope, then we're doomed. But you can't lose hope. You can't lose hope
right.
to be cherished and valued the way that you know you deserve to be. Right, and I get it. It's hard, totally.
Right.
But be careful with lowering your standards because that bar will go real low. It
I guess like what made you like change your mind on that, or like is it just I mean obviously like that's a long-term thing, and like that's amazing for your wife that like she believed in you and knew that like that was something that could be changed, but like what do we do as women? Say it's like a long-term relationship, and obviously I'm not in one anymore. Like, what advice is there to give to be like, hey, this is something that's eye-opening, and obviously, if he doesn't want to change or she doesn't want to change, it's not going to happen. But
Yeah, well, it's a tough question, right? I mean, the simple short answer is know your worth and don't stand for anything less. Period. Which means you're going to have to make some really tough, uncomfortable, unpopular decisions in your life with
right,
relationships, right? And I mean, you're now, well, are you co-parenting with your ex?
yep,
Yeah, so like you're gonna have a whole lifetime of dealing with that, and that's gonna bring
right,
up issues, right? Now you got to think about what's best for the kid. But what do? Is you put it out there from the get go, right? There was probably something in you when you gave your former partner the green light to watch porn. There was probably something in you that said this isn't a good idea, but I feel like there's no other option.
right,
But there's always another option. It's just usually harder to go about to go down those other paths. So if you're saying, hey, you know what, I don't want to be with somebody in a relationship who watches pornography, get that out there right out of the gate
Yeah.
and have it be a continuous conversation. Trust but verify. If they say they're not going to, great, prove it. Because it's 2024 and this stuff is everywhere.
Right.
And when you can stand in your power, not in a dominating way, but stand in your power of saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm worth, you can speak from that truth knowing that it's true about you, that I deserve to be treated this way. Right? Do you have a little boy or a little girl?
A little boy.
Little boy. Okay. So same, I mean, whether it's a boy or a girl, it's like, how do you empower a child to take a stand for themselves? They have to know what they're worth,
Right.
right? And that's something that gets instilled in them at a very young age, right? And we're no different, okay? Adults are no different.
Right.
I'm 39 years old, you're in your 20s, right? How can you stand in your power knowing that it's okay to demand being treated like this?
Right.
Is that
I
hard for
think
you?
I used to struggle with that a lot, but I mean, him and his dad and I have been separated for almost a year in January. So like this year's been a lot of like reflection, like what I want in someone, and like not only for me but my kid too, and like what he deserves, because ultimately your partner will affect your children. That's just how it is. So I've definitely taken a lot of time like within this year just working on me and working on like the parent I can be for him. Just because honestly dating in this generation is difficult to find like what I want, and so just figuring out what those qualities are.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, don't lose sight of putting yourself first, right?
Right.
Obviously, you want what's best for your kid, but your kid will thrive when you're thriving.
Right.
And I'm sure you're thriving in many aspects of your life, right? But
Right.
the more you put yourself first, the more you can take a stand for your kid and take a stand for any potential future relationship you might have.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting.
Yeah, of course.
What
Thank
do you think
you.
now? Is porn cheating?
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. All right. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you all. We're just getting started. First guest of the night. Thank you for sharing. Hunter, was that your name? I don't know. I will never forget when a therapist told me, you don't need it. You know that, right? Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Hi there. How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Is porn cheating?
You know, this was hard that it popped up on my FYP tonight, but looking back after a 30-year marriage and divorce this past couple of years, and being someone who never realized the effects that that had on it back when we were 24 and 25, and wondering what led to all this. I would dare to say, as much as I like to think I got over it and it wasn't cheating, it absolutely changed the entire trajectory of the whole relationship. So, heard more than once that it's not technically an affair, and I guess it's just,
Who did you hear that
it's a
from?
play on words. It's a play on words because if it makes your partner feel less than and damages that intimacy and that trust and that closeness, and things change over time because of insecurities and feeling like you're not enough, and it causes that wedge, you know what I'm saying? So it affair, cheating, whatever you want to call it, it's damage.
Betrayal?
And and
Can you hear
it's
me? Hello?
yeah, can you hear me? I'm
Okay,
sorry.
sorry. Yeah, I've said a few things and you didn't respond to it.
Oh, sorry. No.
Yeah. Okay. It's a betrayal. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so I just think that I'm having I'm seeing that in other forms of my life right now with my, another situation, and given them advice on how to deal with that, and I really don't have an answer to that. And it's hard because I do think that I hear a lot of people put the blame, like if you were doing this more, if you were, being more available intimacy wise, they wouldn't do that. And I think that's a very unfair statement. You make your own choices. If there's
Yeah.
something that, you're lacking and you think, well, you drove me to this, that's no different than saying you drove me to hit you or you drove me to do this or that. I mean,
Yeah, you're never responsible for somebody else's action.
right. So I don't know. It was just interesting that this popped up. And like I said, I always thought that's not the reason for the divorce. It didn't come up for 20 years after the fact. But now being on the other side of 3 years out and reflecting, I avoided and became that way, learning a lot about attachment styles lately because of damage that happened way back. I'm 50 now when I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a lot. And 30 years of marriage is a long time. It's a lot to grieve and to process through and to just look at, like you said, like what happened here? How'd we get here?
And when your partner says, well, you just aren't able to love me the way I need to be and all the things. And now looking back, I'm like, you're gaslighting me. Because let's go back to when that happened and maybe you don't really realize the extent of the damage that you did and take accountability for that and really be sorry and understand the damage that you did because it causes that kind of damage.
Yeah.
It really causes it.
Did it feel like an affair to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, it feels like that because it's a huge betrayal, and it's not physical, but it's an emotional affair. It's in the same category, in my opinion.
I've struggled with my faith, and so I'm not gonna I do consider myself a Christian, but I have struggled with God through the years through various reasons. But when people say, what's the standard or what is or what isn't, in my mind, the Bible says if in your mind you've lusted after someone else, you've committed adultery in your mind. So we can all say, well, in our relationship, we allow this. And in my relationship, I allow that. And this is not this. But where is that right or that wrong? Where is that standard? And that's where, at the end of the day, whether you're a Christian or not, you yourself has to have your own boundary and your own self-worth of what's acceptable and what's not.
Yeah.
And draw your own line.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a condition of the heart, right? Where exactly does cheating begin? I ask people that question all the time here. Right. And the best answer I have is once you take your eyes off your partner and put them on or move them towards someone else.
Anytime there's anything in your marriage, it doesn't matter. Honestly, we're talking about pornography right here, but no matter what it is, if you feel the need that you have to lie or you have to hide or anything, then there is a weak spot in your relationship that is in danger. And that's really the heart issue that has to be addressed. And what a lot of people don't realize is it may not bring an insecurity to you, but to me, what am I not doing enough? What is it about me? And you really start to take on that, and it damages you as a person.
Yeah.
Like, why am I not enough? And that's a hard thing as whether it's a woman or a man to deal with. And I don't know. So I'm thankful that you popped up on my FYP and it has great effects on people's lives.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
No, I appreciate you.
All right. Take care. Like and share, people. Like and share. if you like my content. Give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men dealing with unwanted sexual behavior such as pornography or sexual addiction issues, as well as women dealing with betrayal trauma, the trauma that a woman experiences, or that a person experiences, I'm sorry, it goes both ways. The trauma that a person experiences after a betrayal. Coaching groups, we just got done tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow. All right. Porn destroys healthy marriage and relationships. Yeah. Let's see if my button works. It works. What should a person do after being betrayed to heal? Read the book, The Betrayal Bind by Michelle Mays, and get in community. Find a coach, a counselor, a therapist, join a support group. Do not isolate. Do not isolate. You know what we do to our most dangerous criminals? We isolate them. So why would you do it to yourself? You got to share your story, share what's going on for you. And it's a long process. What saved your marriage? And what did your wife do? Excuse me. The Betrayal Bind by Michelle Mays, yeah. M-A-Y-S. I need to have a button for it like I do Unwanted. What is your wisdom on this point? Is your motivation religious-based philosophy or psychology? Well, how do you have like any opinion that isn't rooted in one of those? Generally, my content is non-faith-based, but if you want it to be faith-based, it can be. Hold on, I want to address this other about my wife. What did my wife do? How did I support my wife during recovery? Well, she started seeing a therapist right away. She saw a therapist every week for a year, okay? Something I see a lot with people who don't make that much progress. This goes for the man, the woman, the couple, is they start seeing a therapist or a coach or a counselor, and they'll do like 3 sessions, and then they'll stop. And then 2 or 3 months will pass, and everything will get terrible again, and then they'll do another session. And then after a year, they're like, I tried therapy, it didn't work. Like, you spent 4.5 hours with a therapist trying to unpack 40 years of life. I mean, are you surprised? Anyways, my wife and I both immediately started getting one-on-one help, group work as well. I read books. I still read books about this topic all the time. This is not just about how do I stop watching porn. This is an invitation to reorient your life towards something new and rebuild a relationship that was burned down to the, not even the studs, to the foundation. And now you see all the cracks in the foundation. So we got to build something new. And that's a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of money. It's very difficult. Did she ever kick me out? No. Hi, Krista. That's something that I still, the more that I do this work, helping other people, my wife and I have never spent one night apart. And I can't even fathom that. I'll bring you on here, Adam. Give me 1 second. Now, my story is not everybody's story, okay? Everyone does it different. Some people separate for months. Some people for weeks, some people don't. Some people do the couch thing, but no, we personally didn't. There's no right or wrong way to do it. This is the most expensive recovery. Yep. Yeah. It's a good way to put it. Coach Shannon. Yeah, you think getting relationship help is expensive? Try getting divorced. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Have I talked to you before?
Yeah, of course. We talk.
Oh,
all
you're
the time.
my
That's why I
Florida
can-
you're my
I can
Florida
talk all the
friend.
time for you. I love you, man.
Oh gosh. All right, what's up, man?
No, seriously, I love you, man. You're a big
Okay.
inspiration.
All right, well, what's
So
going on
how-
tonight?
Oh shit. Sorry, I'm pretty aggressive a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So I was actually, you told me to get rid of that woman,
To do what?
to get rid of that woman.
To get rid of that woman? Is that what?
Yes.
That's not
Remember
something
when we
I.
had a
That's
conversation?
that's not something I would say.
I mean, like, get away from that relationship.
I might have asked you a question of like, what benefits are you getting by staying in the relationship?
Well, here's the thing, what happened? I gave her a benefit of doubt, okay? She actually called the cops on me and end up like at 8 sheriff deputies in a gunpoint. They put me in basically they put me in Baker actor.
Okay.
Makes sense?
No. Be careful with the words you're saying, by the way, just for
Yeah.
TikTok.
So they put me in a situation where like, they didn't put me locked up but arrested or anything like that. And bro, I cannot tell you, like, I was traumatized. I never had been in that
Okay.
situation.
All right. So why are you? Look, this is probably what I asked you before, and I love that the chat's here to back me up. I didn't say that. Why are you still in this relationship?
No, I'm not anymore. That's it.
Okay. So after what happened the other day, you're done.
Oh yeah, definitely. I moved on. Like,
Okay.
I was kind of traumatized. I'll be honest with you.
Of
I
course.
was
That sounds
traumatized.
traumatizing.
It is. It is. That's why I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I have nobody to talk to.
Why?
I don't. She isolated me from everybody.
No, she didn't.
No, she did.
No, Adam. We went over this last time. You isolated yourself from people.
I mean, I might agree with you for that.
You are going to agree, or you're not going to?
No, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah. So again, it's about you taking back the agency for yourself.
Yeah.
You're responsible for all this.
Yep. Because I
Now,
didn't set up the boundaries.
yeah. Now, again, I also, there's probably a whole childhood trauma story there, which is contributing to why you are the way you are today, right?
Not really.
Well, there probably is.
Well, because you know what, like, here's the thing. I grew up in Morocco, so it's a different country. You see what I'm saying? So we're like not like I am a US citizenship, but however, like the way we come is like very aggressive and people they think we're like, crazy people.
I've been there.
You see what I'm saying? Oh, you've been in Morocco? What part?
I can't even remember. Let me look at a map. Like
Did
the
you been to
northwest part.
Rabat, Casablanca, Marrakesh, Agadir?
I think Rabat.
Rabat, that's when I was born.
No way.
Yeah. I'm serious.
It's a whole nother world over there.
Yeah. But it's beautiful right now.
Yeah. So what's next for
But
you, man?
anyway. Yeah, but I'm telling you, like, I was held in a gunpoint with 8 sheriff department, and I did not resist or anything like that. That traumatized the shit out of me. Okay, and I end up like with whatever word that I told you, and the next day she called me and she goes like, "Well, I just want to make sure that like you welfare check what is that called? What is that they call it? Like a wellness check,
Yeah,
whatever."
like a well check. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was a bullshitter.
So are you still in relationship with her?
Of course not.
Okay.
Thousand
Did you
percent.
did you block her?
I blocked her. I sent her email. I'm like, don't. I'm like, excuse my language. I'm like, don't fucking contact me again.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
Yep.
Well, man,
So
that sucks. Sorry you went through that. That does sound
no,
traumatizing.
listen, it's all good. It's all good. It's holiday. You know what it hurts me? That she provoked my ex-baby mamas and I have to live a Christmas without seeing my kids. I don't care about the fucking money. I don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in like survival mode.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I don't care about no money. I don't care about nothing. Nothing. Like literally nothing, bro.
Yeah. Well, you got to care about something, man. You got to keep going forward in spite of what's going on for you.
Yeah, but my kids,
Yeah.
my kids comes first.
Yeah.
You know.
All
So,
right, man. Well, thanks for sharing. Good chatting with you.
all right, cool.
All right. Bye bye. Callie Moore. Didn't I talk to you last time? Hey there. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I was just wondering, I just have a quick question.
Uh huh.
How much on your, because I looked at your calls on for the 1 minute thing,
One
$1 thing.
dollar. $1.
Sorry, not 1 minute. Um,
What?
and is it Arizona time or is it like, does
I
it
don't know.
adjust to your time?
It should tell you on there. Like it should
It
show.
adjusts to like whatever time zone you're in.
Well, you can choose the time zone when you go to book a call, and it probably defaults to your time zone.
Okay,
And
okay.
then
I
you'll
was
get
just wondering.
you'll get a calendar invite with a. It should be in your time zone. The calendar
Okay,
invite. Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, I'm going to be blocking off some days. So if you do schedule right now, I might reschedule you. Like I might just text you to shift it
Okay.
around, just given the holidays and all that. But yeah, if you want to book
Yeah.
it, go ahead and book it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And are you booking it for you or for him?
For me, so I don't want to get like too much into everything. He's not doing anything like bad per se. It's just more like I think it's kind of like my own insecurities
Yeah, no,
surrounding this issue.
totally. That's fine. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
betrayal trauma, that's fine. If
yeah.
you're booking it for him, I would make the suggestion that if he wants to do it, he needs to book it himself. Right.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
hasn't done anything like he's not looking
Yeah.
at that, but as
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to chatting with you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. Hey there. How's it going? Hello. Leah. Are you there? Just kidding. That was me. We're gonna have any sores tonight? You only want to talk to people who agree, right? No, no. I want to talk to people who don't agree. I don't care. I'll talk to anybody. Hey there. How's it going?
Hello. Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's up?
Um, well, I don't know. I don't think I agree
Okay.
because like I've
Hold
just
on. Are you 18 or over?
I'm 22.
Okay.
Yeah, 2002.
Okay.
Um, well, like I've obviously dated guys who had it, well, not obviously, but I have dated a guy who like took it too far, but in my honest mind, I've always thought like I just chalk it down to I want a guy who likes femininity and I want a guy who's attracted to that, so he could be attracted to me even. And I really think if that's where it comes from, that's healthy and everyone deserves some amount of privacy. Like going through people's phone to find it is wrong unless you had some type of like reasonable reason why you went through his phone. But even that, like,
Well,
you
hold on.
should
Hold on. Hold
probably
on.
just leave.
Is this an experience you've had?
Well, like when I was a teenager, I used to go through my ex's phone, like, and my boyfriend's phones. But then when I grew up a little bit, like, I would just break up with them now if I felt the need to do that, honestly. Because that means there's more problems than just what he's watching. Like, I don't even think I should know about that. Unless, I don't know how to explain
You
it.
don't think you should know that your partner is masturbating while watching other women have sex? You don't think that's something you should know?
I think, like, honestly, like, yeah, I don't think that that's something I should know. I don't think it should impact me because, like,
Why would that
attraction is
not
just,
why would that not impact you if your partner's ejaculating while watching other women have sex?
I just think, like, there's a lot of shame that goes along with sexual topics already for some reason. And I don't really think of it as a shameful act. I think that if the guy thinks of it as a shameful act, that's more harmful than actually just jacking off in a way. Like, I think if he makes it something in his own head that he needs to feel bad about, then that would actually hurt our relationship more than just him, like, doing his own thing for a second, you know?
Do you think that your partner should only have eyes for you?
No, I don't
No.
expect that from anyone. I think that is a crazy expectation. Like, if he didn't like women in general, he wouldn't even be able to like me. So, and also, like, there's nothing wrong with, like, cheating doesn't begin by just having a thought, like, oh, they're attractive, you know? It's whenever, like, they can't regulate their thoughts enough to come back down to reality and just be
Well, you
happy
can't
with
you
what they
can't
have.
you can't noticing that somebody's attractive is not a problem. You can't help the first look, but you can help the second look.
Yeah.
You can't help the first thought, but you can help the second thought. So there's a difference between noticing somebody's attractive and
And
then
I'm
and
not
then
like a big,
and then stopping and masturbating.
well, I'm not like saying that my opinion is right or that all the girls here are wrong for having a different opinion at all. That's not what I think at all. Like, I'm not like, I don't know all. I only know like my opinion and my experiences. But I do think that there
But you're
is something
22. 22-year-olds do know everything. I did when I was 22.
right. I should change my username to I
Yeah.
do know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just think that the biggest thing is there's something equally wrong with like expecting someone to only have eyes for you. And that comes from a place in you that needs healing. So even if they did act accordingly and only showed you interest, you still wouldn't feel fulfilled in that relationship because to even have that expectation, you don't have enough self-confidence already, which is sad. And people should work on that for themselves. That way they don't need anyone else in that way.
Well, okay. Why should people not expect that their romantic partners only have eyes for them? I don't.
Because
Where
it's
did
an impossible standard, and that's what's gonna hurt their feelings.
Why is it
It's
impossible?
impossible to only have eyes for one person. Like, it's not
Why?
impossible
Why?
to not touch.
Why is
I
that
don't know.
impossible?
Like,
It's not impossible to
I
what? Not touch what?
there's deeper thoughts I have. Like, should humans even be like tying themselves to someone else? Like, it just all feels kind of like when you, to me,
It's
like a little
it's
bit of a control thing. It's not
hold on.
real
It's
love to
it's if
me.
you want to get it's called pair bonding. Like all mammal species do this. We bond in pairs. There's a biological. I'm not well studied on this, but there's a biological component to it. Go look up pair bonding.
I agree, it comes with a lot of benefits and pluses, but it also like it makes it seem like your love isn't real or is it good enough unless it's some storybook romantic, like he only ever looks at me, like I only ever look at him, we get everything we need from each other, and like it's
Well,
all
I'll
tainted
I'll agree with you
human
that the
nature.
storybook romance is. Where's my bleep button? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot to be desired with storybook romance for sure, right?
Yeah,
But
because sometimes real life can be even better than the storybook. You're just like not really like I think people don't let themselves get real because they have expectations already in their mind of how things should be or what's normal or like is this a bad thing or is this a good thing, and they get too caught up in like thoughts to just appreciate what is, I think.
Hmm.
And like, I don't know, I just think there's something special in accepting that person the way they are and not really like needing them for yourself. Just like,
Well, sure, but when, like, where does that, what does that extend out to? Like, when do you, I mean, not that I'm suggesting we shouldn't accept people for where they are, but should we expect our partners to only have sex with one person, the person they're committed to?
I
Or
think
should we be
that's
okay if, like, if
normal
they
for
just want to have sex with other people, should we allow that?
personally for me. I'm a really open-minded person. I really am. I kind of do
Hmm.
fall under like the open-minded side, like free love. Like I don't want to be held back from experiences. You only live once, and I don't want to hold anyone else back from experiences. I just want someone to, I do want a stable partner in my life, like someone to grow with and to love and to have stability and to be there for each other. But I don't think that that necessarily has to go into like, okay, but I'm only yours and you're mine, and like all these things that like I don't know how to explain it. I just think that less expectations actually lead to more fruitful outcomes. Like,
Yeah, but it depends on what your outcome. I mean, look at like the family unit, right? Like
yeah.
family units tend to work better when it's a two-parent household and that provides stability. If you've got a revolving door of parents, we know this. It has a worse outcome for the children, generally speaking.
Well, you can't have a revolving door of parents. That would be you being stupid as a parent and letting too many like people into your house. But you can have like kids and them never know about your that part of your life. Like that's how it should. Like it's not like your kids know when mom and dad are gonna go to the bed. Like why would they know if like dad and mom
Do you
also
have
happen to
kids?
have?
Do you have kids?
No, I don't yet. I
Kids
probably
are
won't for a
kids are
long
kids
time.
are way smarter than we give them credit for. They know what's going on. They might
I
not
mean,
know the exact specific thing, but they know. They know
well,
when
then you
when
shouldn't
something is
do it
wrong with
when they're
mommy and daddy.
home. I
They know.
don't know. I'm not saying that like I'm not saying that like an open relationship is the only answer, but to me that's like that honestly is the least controlling answer. And I just like people how they are and I just want them to be. That's just my thing. And like I don't like I watch movies and stuff and I watch like other people in the world and I think about myself and if I had a like I've had long-term boyfriends and like if he came to me and was like there's this girl I find really attractive at work and honestly my first reaction I wouldn't take that personal. I wouldn't be like what did I do wrong? I would be like
So what if
well
he was
I've
like
had thoughts like that.
hey, there's this girl at work that's really attractive. Like she's got this and you don't have it, and I really like that about her. And by the way, I took a picture of her in the break room today. Before we get dinner, I'm going to go to the bedroom and masturbate to this picture, and then we'll come have dinner together. How would you feel about that?
I would break up with that jerk because that is not the way
Why?
you say that to me.
But
Because that's
that's
not
what's
how you
actually
your
going on. That's
delivery,
what's going
man.
on. He's not being authentic.
But
He's
like,
hiding it.
no, like I don't think that attraction has to be creepy like that. I would feel scared for
Why is
her
that creepy?
actually.
Why is that creepy?
Because the way
That's
he,
exactly
you
what's
just
going
added
on.
in creepy facts, like he's gonna go masturbate to the photo and stuff. Like that's creepy. That I would be worried for her. I would be like, "Oh, you're a creeper." I wouldn't take that personal though. You see, like you
Well,
can't take someone
hold
else's
on.
actions.
Well, you can't take someone else's actions. What?
Like you can't take them like, even if it was your husband, even if it was your dad who did it, like, even if it was like your best friend, no matter who hurts you, you can't take it personal like that. And you can't just be like, well, what did I
There's a
do
difference.
wrong? Or
I
what
got
am
it. There's
I
a difference
lacking?
between taking something personally and having standards.
Well, then you would, I think so too. That's why you would just break up with them if you had standards. Taking
Yeah,
it personally would be like sitting in it and getting sad over it.
right. Which I didn't say that, but again, you're the whole like, look, the thing you called creepy was me just filling in the lines of what somebody does when they let the lustful thought run rampant. They go masturbate to it because they're attracted to it
You
and they
don't
can't
think that
control
could
it.
be a healthy release? You think they would have to sit in it and like be like, oh, I'm so attracted to this girl. I need to break up with my new girlfriend. You don't think they could just like handle that and then like come back as I think if they let that attraction, if a man or
I
woman
just
lets that
described it to
bother
you, and you
them,
said if that happened, you would break up with them.
yeah, if he couldn't handle it in an actual mature way, like to me,
What
handling
would
it
be
in
the
a
mature
mature.
way? To not say anything and go masturbate to it and then come
It
back and have
depends on
dinner?
how deep the feelings got. Like if
All
it
right.
was just a
All right.
small
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Bye bye.
things, yeah.
Heather and Ty, you there? Trin? No Trin. One in six
Hello.
men have HIV and 1 in 3 have herpes increasing. There's no way that's true. Hi there, how's it going?
Good.
What's going on? Is porn cheating? I'm going to Google it.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Okay,
it
tell me
is.
more.
It's cheating because, like, if you think about it, mm, a lot of the times when a man is looking at porn, he's not looking at what's real, if that makes sense. Like, you have
Well,
these women, like, I
hold
have
on,
not,
hold on 1 second. It is true amongst homosexuals, according to just googling it real quick. Amongst heterosexuals, it's 1 in 524. So your stat is way off. I mean, if you're talking about all men, which is what you said. You said 1 in 6 men, but it's not. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
it's like, okay, this, because I'm going to therapy, I'm currently in therapy for this because I've had this issue. It's been going on for 4 years, long time. And it gotten so bad that he left reality for what was real. Like his reality, he disassociated with reality. And what I mean by that is like, okay, so he goes and watches porn, and these girls got their boobs done, their butts done, lipo, their lips, and everything, and good lighting, and all these angles and moves. And then he comes home to me and sees this regular person with the hair in a bun, 2 kids on her, and like and in his mind, this is how I think, like, which would you rather have been looking at, that girl with the BBL or the wife with the stretch marks and the 2 kids and the messy shirt? Because you leave reality when you start looking at girls that, in my head, yes, they're real, but that's not real. It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
You are looking at somebody who would never give you any type of time, and then you come home to your regular life, you're with your regular wife, and you look at her like you're disgusted because you just saw something that was manufactured. And and then you have this wife, and you're like, okay, well, this is my life, like,
yeah.
so I do feel it,
It
it
are
is cheating, and
you are
it's very
you
traumatizing.
yeah. Are you married?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're going through this with your husband currently?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
He
It's so tough.
he had a he had a whole second life. He made fake accounts. He was spending our savings. He bought my best friend's OnlyFans. It took a lot for me. I'm 6 months postpartum. I thought about suicide. And it took for my mother and my best friend to call the police for me to finally realize I needed a lot of help because this is trauma of 4 years. I can't even go out in public with him because I feel like he has wandering eyes. He's groped my friends. And I think porn is cheating because when it's on the screen, that's already emotional cheating. And then he took it to real life. I have no friends because of him, because I'm so scared to have friends because I'm afraid that he's going to stare at them sexually. And I don't even feel beautiful anymore. I regretted being pregnant with my second child. I don't even know the man I'm married to. I used to be the most confident person in the world, and he diminished it. I get anxiety when we go to stores, to the grocery store. I get anxiety because I feel like he's window shopping. And people like laugh and say, well, you're just taking it out of proportion. No, I'm not. Not when you don't even know the man you're laying to anymore.
Yeah.
And to kind of go off what that girl was saying, my kids picked up on it. My son's 3 years old. And he tells my husband, you just need to say sorry. So for somebody to say kids don't pick up on it, they do.
Yeah.
He's made excuses about getting help, and he says he's called, but I don't know how true that is. But I think porn has ruined a lot of society's images on what a committed relationship should be. Because people saying, oh, it's like going to the restaurant and just looking at the menu. Okay, but when you go to a restaurant, you don't just look at the menu, you actually buy what's on the menu. So that's not like, no, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it being normalized, like, oh, he's just looking. Yeah, but just looking turns into wanting what's over there.
Yeah.
So it very much is a traumatizing thing. And people to say, oh, it's normal. Yes, it's normal when you're single and you don't have somebody
No, it's not.
that
It's not normal when
you're
you're single.
okay. Yeah, well, that's true too. It's like a drug. And when you have to hide it and make excuses for it, and it is a drug.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Man, what a story. I'm glad you reached out, you got help from people who were there to help you when you were at that low point. I mean, it takes incredible strength to do that. Good for you.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a long road, and it's still a long road, and I think my kids are the reason I'm still here, to be honest. Because I don't want them to grow up to think the way he thinks is normal.
Are you a good mom?
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Are you a good mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it.
My kids are my life. My kids saved me. They saved me from a bad lifestyle. I used to be a dancer. I was into the drugs, the fast life, and then I got pregnant and I changed everything about myself and tried to be more present in my children's life and know that I'm always going to be here, no matter what. I chose to stay home because, well, I didn't want to miss anything out on my kids. I gave up my working career in the medical field, and so I'd rather be around for my kids and see them make many milestones and see their faces when I go pick them up from school
Yeah.
and stuff. So
So, what are you learning about yourself in your therapy?
I'm finding me again, a new me. I didn't have a voice for a really long time. And now that I am getting a voice and finding out that I am stronger and I'm not crazy for thinking that what I was seeing and the behavior wasn't just me being overreacting or listening to the lying that he was constantly doing. He made me feel like I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
And he told me I was crazy. And just going to therapies really helped me out. And she's saying I'm not the problem. He has the problem.
Yeah, you're finding your voice. And as you continue to do that, you'll be able to stand in your power and let your voice speak the way that it's been wanting to speak for so long.
Yes, it's been a long time since I've had a voice. I I've had to tone down I don't know, I couldn't really show my emotions.
Yeah, yeah,
I've, you know, if I tell you the whole entire story, we'd be here for hours. It's just it's great
yeah,
that I'm finding who I am as a person again, and I'm slowly doing stuff for me, and he doesn't quite like that.
yeah. Because he benefited from it for so long. Yeah,
I no longer accept the I'm just sorry.
No, it's fine.
I don't no longer accept the little sorries.
Oh yeah,
Those are like
yeah,
band-aids on a gash.
yeah, yeah. As you start speaking your voice, it'll be harder for him and other people because they were benefiting
Yes.
from it for so long. So good for you.
Yeah. Yes,
Good for you.
I now have a pushback and
Yeah.
it feels kind of great.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, you got a lot to live for.
Yeah.
And I had a call with a woman earlier today. Maybe that person's here. I don't know. But it's like, is it really worth putting our lives on pause because somebody else is watching porn? Just we gotta stand for something more, right? And you're doing that.
Yeah. I I never thought I could change until, like I said, I want to be better for my kids. And that's something I always ask them, is this something you want because we have two sons, is there something you want your sons to do, follow in your footsteps? And then you have their wife calling us, telling, hey, he's at it again, or he's spending our savings on watching other women. I said, is that something you would be proud of?
Yeah.
And I kind of just get like a blank stare. Like I'm crazy.
Well, you're not crazy, all right? At least not in my opinion, if that means anything.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. I'm going to go to bed soon, so I'll take maybe one or two more guests. Hey there, how's it going? Hello. 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 KCJ? Hello. Nope. I gotta go potty. I'll be right back. And D, I saw you, bro. What's up, man? All right. Kenzie has updates.
Hello.
Hey there, what's going on?
So I have a little bit of updates. You and I have talked before a couple times, but so as of before, how whenever we had like the discovery session and like we weren't together or whatever, well now we are. He's, at least from what I'm aware and what I've been looking into, he hasn't been doing that stuff. I mean, it hasn't been long, but while we were on that break and stuff, I found out that he was talking to one of his exes and looking at pornography, and he didn't lie about it. He kind of like, I kind of was like, hey, did this stuff happen? And then he kind of came clean about everything. And then he was like, I want us to work out. I want you, like, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And I've been trying to figure out how to do, like, the accountability apps, because with him going to the Navy and everything, it's kind of hard to do, like, the counseling per se, other than like online, but also with him being busy and he doesn't really know his schedule so far. And
Well, he's
like,
finding
does
a
that
way to
make
watch
sense?
porn.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, with the he doesn't like know his schedule for like whenever he does go, because like, so he's gonna be at boot camp for a few months, and he's not going to have his phone. And then after that, he has to go to like a tech school kind of sort of to like learn his job. And then even then, it's like full days basically. So, that's what I mean by like working around that schedule for like counseling and everything.
What are you saying? That he can't work around the schedule?
Well, what I'm saying is like he doesn't know the schedule, so it's kind of hard to schedule things like for a specific day. And
Well,
like that.
is he in the Navy yet?
He leaves January 14th.
He could have an appointment tomorrow. He could have like 4 weeks worth of appointments before he leaves.
That is true, yeah.
Does he want to get help?
He does, but also he says like right now it's not like his biggest concern because he's worried about
So he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it.
he does want it. I mean, he's been reading the book, but it's not on his like main priority list.
So he doesn't want to. The evidence suggests he doesn't want to do these things. We're not what we say we're going to do. We are what we do.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sorry, I know I've talked to you a few times before, so like I know some of the history here, but like what are you hoping that happens here?
I mean, I'm hoping to like move forward and like work more on us. I mean, like he's saying that he's really hoping to fully become a complete different person, and he like
Yeah, let me give you an analogy. If I say I hope to become a millionaire someday, and then I'd go out and party and spend about a bunch of money at the bar until 2 a.m. and I come home and sleep till noon the next day. I'm all hungover and stumbling around and can barely figure stuff out and don't go to work. And then my buddies come over and we get trashed again. And I'm like, hey guys, I want to be a millionaire. And then we go party all night and I sleep till noon. Hey guys, I want to be a millionaire. I go party all night and I sleep till noon. The evidence suggests I don't want to be a millionaire.
yeah.
The evidence suggests I want to party all night and sleep until noon. So no matter what I say, that's what I want. That's what I'm actually doing.
Yeah.
So does he want to get help?
He does, but the thing is, like, I don't know how to, like, explain it other than, like, it's hard to around, like, here, if that makes sense, as in, like, he doesn't want to, like, talk to somebody for, like, a couple weeks, spend all that money just for him to leave and not be able to, like, talk to that person, if that makes sense.
Well, look, I've been talking to you over the course of what, a few months, 2-3 months
Yeah.
or so. He could have had 4 months of work done, but before he left. Most guys I work with, it's about 3 months, 3 to 6 months. Weekly one-on-one meeting. And they make massive progress in that time.
Yeah.
Costs a lot of money and a lot of time. And then after about 6 months, I'm not saying they're totally good to go, but like, yeah, then we've moved to a new plateau and now we can work on the next thing. It's not the time, it's not the money, it's holding him back. He doesn't
Like
want
he's
to.
more like focused on the Navy stuff than this because like he thinks that it'll just go away, or he's just trying to ignore it.
Yeah. So what if we shifted from talking about him to talking about you? Why are you caught up in this? How do I want to ask this? It sounds like you're wanting a version of him that isn't what he's presenting you today.
Well, because like I know he can be better, and like last night him and I had like a not like a huge discussion about it, but like kind of a big discussion. And he's fine with accountability apps. I've been just trying to figure out how to like set them up because I tried with the
Why are
bark.
you doing that? Why are you doing that? If he wants an accountability app, he can get an accountability app. He can go research them.
Well, he didn't know what about them, and like he looked it up, and like he was like, okay, yeah, that's fine, I don't mind.
How is he going to figure out how to be in the Navy?
Well, that's why I was saying, like, he was like, I told him, I was like, is it okay for an accountability app? And he was like, well,
Look,
what is that? And then, like, he looked it up. And he was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then I went to your link tree, and then he was like, okay, which one is it? And then, like, we downloaded different ones and, like, that kind of stuff because it also has to be, like, set up on my phone and his, but like I have to set it up on my phone to go to his, if that makes sense. Like I don't know how to explain it other than that. So like
yeah,
say for instance, if he were to do something, then it would pop up and I would see it.
yes, I understand I understand how an accountability app works because I've gone through the pain of researching them endlessly to know how they work because they're an important tool.
Yeah.
If he wants it, he'll figure out how to make it work.
Well,
But again,
like
back to you. What if he never changes?
then I would leave.
Okay. How long has he not been the version of the person he could potentially be and you've been settling for that?
I mean, whenever I first found out about it, it was like May-ish.
Okay, so it's been 7 months or so.
Yeah. And then like last night, whenever we were talking about it, he was saying that he's like thought about it more and he feels like the reason why he was doing that was because like kind of like the curiosity and then he was just like letting his brain wander and then like since he's stopped he's just been focusing on me. He deleted Reddit and because that was like one of the things that he was looking at stuff on and he let me like go through his phone and everything and he like deleted everything himself and then he was like I want you, I want a future with you and only you. And I know this probably sounds stupid, but he was like I'm gonna get you a promise ring to show you how committed I am to this and us and like I plan on keeping that promise and I mean I really hope he means it and because like how he was saying before, like even whenever all of us talked, how he said like he needs the discipline and stuff. I'm just really hoping that with going into the Navy, it'll help with that a bit. Like having him more disciplined and more under control. If that makes sense, like not like under my control, but just like under control of his own actions.
Yeah, hopefully. What if it doesn't?
Yeah. Well, then I'd leave.
Okay. Well, there's a lot you're focusing. What I'm hearing is you're focusing on a lot of if he changes all these things about him, then I will stay here with him. But if not, I'll leave. And I would just encourage you to look at like it just sounds like he's not the person who you're wanting. That's just the read I'm getting. Okay. I don't know if he's right for you or not. And I totally get, I'm not suggesting that people need to be perfect in order for us to be in a relationship. But there's a lot of promises here that he's making, and it seems like he hasn't fulfilled them.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe this app can fix it. Maybe this thing can fix it. Maybe the Navy can fix it. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the answer for you.
Well, like with the accountability app, it's mainly like
Accountability apps aren't they're 1% of the equation from healing from this.
Yeah.
Maybe 5%. It's like accountability apps. How do I put this? They basically do nothing. Like if all the other pieces are, if you just have an accountability app, you're probably not going to make any progress. If you look at the
He hasn't
accountability
read his
app
book, though.
as one piece of the overall equation, fine. What book is he reading? Unwanted? Did I tell you to have him read that?
Yes, and we've also been reading The Betrayal Bind.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, it sounds like maybe there's slow movement happening, which is great, but you know, how much are you willing to stick around for?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it has been. I mean, it hasn't been like too long since like we got back together, but like since whenever we had like this discovery call, it's been a couple weeks. But he's been reading the book and everything.
Was he on with us?
Yes, you were
Yeah.
like, can you at least put a shirt on for me?
To the guy, to be clear, people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, I remember that now. Well, here's the thing. Look, if he, well, you don't remember. Well, no, this was a private call, a discovery call. Look, I mean, again, the whole getting a therapist. I'm telling you, he can find a therapist. If I was him and I really wanted to see a therapist that bad and I thought it would help, I would be spending every day interviewing therapists. Hey, I'm about to join the Navy. My schedule is going to be pretty flexible. Can you be flexible? Maybe it'll cost a little bit more. Tell me what your plan is. How would you approach it? Can we make this work? Right? I do that.
Yeah.
Right? I have people like, hey, you got a flexible, tough circumstance? Great. I'll see how flexible I can be. Right? But so, anyways. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Dude, you're very manipulative. Thank you. Care to share more? You want to come on and chat? Did I talk to you the other day? I think I did. What was the term that girl said a couple weeks ago? Like, don't. Oh, yeah. What was it? It'll come back. You're the man. Nah. Bree, I'll bring you on. You were. I think I saw you waiting last night, Bree. Did I ever bring you on? You can, if you request, I'll bring you on. Ask people about how deep tea is like a drug to watch. Hey there, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Weren't you waiting last night, though?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've never talked?
No, I've been on here a few times, but I haven't been actually on.
Okay. Are you 18
Just
or
a
over?
month. Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm just curious. I have a question about when you're walking with somebody through recovery from porn and sex addiction.
Yuck is yum. That was it. Yuck is yum. Way to go, Jess. Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead, Bree. When you're
Oh,
walking
it's
with
okay.
somebody through recovery.
Yeah, so I'm currently walking with someone through that, and I'm just curious. So, for accountability apps and for like what was for you? What was the turning point with your recovery? Because I know he has been doing this for years now. He was even in rehab and everything, and it seems like I'm at this point where I have when I first started to walk with him through it, I didn't understand it a lot, and now I'm more just I guess more aware of how it actually like what's actually going on. Like for example, I realize like the accountability apps, all that stuff really means nothing if he doesn't have every single thing in order and he actually doesn't want to change or is doing everything that he can to change. And like right now, I think he's like 26 days since the last time he relapsed. And I'm just curious, like what kind of like I don't know if I don't know if I want to say like what kind of support can I offer, but more likely like because obviously I've dealt with a lot of betrayal and that's been something that I had to walk through and it's been really tough. But what kind of I guess I'm just asking for advice of like because you walked through this, what was the turning point for you? What that really changed things and for me like walking through this, is it something that how I can best kind of just guard my heart?
Yeah. All right. Well, so this is not about stopping watching porn. The goal is not to stop watching porn.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to figure out what got the person to this place, how they view women, sex, sexuality, relationships, marriage, monogamy, all of that, singleness, dating, their hormones, like just everything, so that they can look forward to what the life and relationship is that they want to create. That's like the bigger picture here. We get lost in looking, I just got to stop watching porn.
Right.
But that's not the problem. A man without a purpose or vision distracts himself with pleasure.
Right.
Right? Most of the time I say that to a guy, they're just like, oh my gosh. Right? Like, yeah, that hits something, right? In fact, I actually saw a great article that I didn't read earlier, a headline. Oh, well, I'll read it later. So if you're focused, this is for everybody. If we're focusing just on what's the next accountability app, how long is the streak,
Right.
it's like we're kind of focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's why I recommend this book so strongly, Unwanted by Jay Stringer. It talks about how did we get here, why do we stay here, and how do I get out of here? So the question is, I mean, I've never talked to him, obviously. You're asking how can you walk through this with him? And typically the question I would ask you back is, who else in his life knows that he's struggling with this?
So pretty much everybody that's close to him in his life knows that he struggles with this. And also, when I first met him, I knew that he had struggled with this at that point. He had told me he had been like walking in recovery for a few years, and then throughout our relationship, he had basically relapsed. But so when it all came out, it was probably back in like May, June. It was really, really tough, and his family didn't even know at that time, and it all came out. And then since then, it's been like in the beginning, I was like, "What kind of apps can we get? Like, can I look through your phone?" All of this stuff of like what you were saying doesn't really matter. Like that's everything I was doing. Like I was trying to control the situation, and now I'm at the point where I realize that it's bigger than that. And also another thing is like we're both Christians, so I know that like I believe that really that God can heal him or help him heal. So I have a lot of faith in that. I just think that like the more I know and the more I find, like, because he's very open and honest about things now, like it almost makes me feel like almost in a way like hopeless of like, man, like even if he does get to a point where he's in recovery, like he's still gonna be battling thoughts. He's still gonna be battling this thing forever, which is it's hurtful for me, obviously. Like it's hard not to get that to hurt my feelings.
No, okay, so yeah, I hear you, right? I would just, the whole, he's going to be battling this forever. It's like, that's actually a great thing. If he's actually battling it forever, meaning
Right,
he is proactive, he is on the offensive, he is doing everything he can to protect you, your relationship, his mind, his thoughts. That's a great thing if he's battling this forever.
right. That's good.
To not battle it forever is a problem, because then you have no defenses up. You're going to be weak. Something will creep in and it'll take you down. Right? So yeah, Danielle, we'll get there. Right? So Bree, you're focusing a lot about him. What about you?
Right. So, to be honest, right now I am trying to figure out like how to best walk through this. Like
Well,
right now if he was, because he's like doing everything that he can at this point, it's something that I decided to walk with him through, but it's still tough.
yeah. Well, is he still using porn?
No.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what are you hoping to be different?
So I guess right now what I'm hoping to be different is how to change like how I'm dealing with it,
Yeah. Okay.
and
So this,
if I could support him better in it, if that makes sense.
yeah. Well, so this is more about you again. You finding your voice, standing in your power, right? Because now you're kind of. It sounds like you're post betrayal, meaning like D-Day happened. It's out there. He is doing some things, and so
Yeah.
now how can you kind of find yourself again? Because what can typically happen is you become so fixated on him and his problems, and now that problem is being worked on. So it's like, well, now what do I fixate on?
Yeah, that's
Right now, I actually got to look at myself.
right. And worrying
Was-
about like not so much now. I've been doing well with it, but like after everything calms down, then you start to like you worry like, okay, if something happens, is he going to tell me? But
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's where some communication can be in place to make sure that you guys have the open line to talk about it. What work have you done? What books have you read?
so when it comes to betrayal stuff, I haven't read any books yet. I've looked some up. I was on your live maybe like a week or so ago, and I wrote some books down that you had the betrayal part of it because I think that would be helpful.
Yeah,
But
read the
I
Betrayal
haven't
Bind. That'll be really good for you.
Yeah, I did screenshot that, so I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, and I would recommend reading Unwanted as well. Like maybe both you guys together. Well, so you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It sounds like he's doing some good work, right? Great, good for him.
Yeah. Right.
And what's next, right? So, but don't get stuck in just thinking he needs to change all this stuff so that I can then feel better.
Right.
Is there some truth to that? Sure, right? But again, you got to find your voice, your power in this.
Right. That makes sense.
Yep.
When you walk through this with your wife, and I'm sure she read that book.
No, she didn't. It just came out like a year ago.
So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, did she do anything like concerning like betrayal therapy or anything like that?
I confessed to her on Friday. She was in the therapist office the following Tuesday,
Okay.
and she did it every week for a year straight, and then some.
Nice.
I'm telling you guys, you go spend an hour and a half in a therapist office and wondering why is this not solved yet? Because it takes a long time.
Right.
I same thing. I was in a therapist's office, a counselor, a coach. I did intensive. So did my wife. We did relationship workshops. We watched videos. We did seminars. We did intensives. The amount of time and money I still spend on this is crazy. Why? Because we're worth it. We're not just trying to stop watching porn. We're trying to be better in our relationship for one another, for our kids. That's what this is about.
Right. How long have you been walking free?
7 years, about 7.5 years.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again,
I was
yeah.
like, about like for you specifically, I didn't realize it's been that long. I figured it was pretty long, but I haven't heard you say how long. But it just gives me a lot of hope watching your stuff because of everything that you're doing on here. It's just helpful for other people. And there are some people that I hear the stories and I'm like, you can just tell that whoever they're with is just not that there's no hope for them or they're not at that point yet where they're willing to actually go all in on it. And I think that you're right that, when it comes to walking and healing, some people can get stuck in trying to force them to do it because you want to stay with them so bad and you love them and you come up with all these reasons to do that. Luckily, like right now, I was in that at one point because at one point he was just covered in a lot of shame and he didn't even have anything left to give because he was so because everything had just come out. He was very honest about it. And he was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to be better. Now that was months and months ago. Now he's at a point where he's actually fighting it and battling it. And everything that you talk about and you're doing, it just gives me hope because when you walk in this, sometimes you can just lose hope and you're thinking, well, when is the next shoe going to drop? And when it does, when the shoe does drop, then you're scared of everything that's going to come back. But I guess my main question for you is just what was if there were any turning points of maybe there were apps that really helped, or was it counseling, or was it what was it for you that really helped, or what were you really consistent in now that helped you to get to how long 7 years that you're at now?
Coming to the understanding that my life matters and it's worth living is what made me change and stay consistent in that.
That's powerful.
That's it.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of self-hatred wrapped up in this sometimes. Specifically, I know that my boyfriend had struggled with that a lot, with not feeling it was worth it and not believing that he could do it. But I just appreciate that you're on here talking about it because it gives me hope. I feel like it gives a lot of other people hope. And yeah. So anyways, I just think that's really great.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. No more guests. I'm going to go to bed in just a minute. I was up way past my bedtime last night. Till 12:30. That's pretty late for an old man. I'm almost 40. My hair's starting to, all right, great being with you all tonight. Like I mentioned last night, I'm gonna be, maybe I'll be on once next week and once the following week because I'm gonna just take some time for family and stuff like that. So, but I will, again, who knows what time I even do that, right? It might be during the day, but maybe I'll come up with a schedule when I get back in the new year. But we'll see if TikTok is even a thing in a few weeks. So there's always hope for you. If you've been betrayed, If you're walking through some sort of unwanted sexual behavior, there's always hope for you. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men who are dealing with unwanted sexual behavior, such as pornography addiction or sex addiction or just other pornography use. I have groups for men. We meet on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern or Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's $99 a month. We meet for an hour and 15 minutes weekly, and it is a great place to be together in community because healing doesn't occur until it's witnessed empathetically. When we can have an empathetic space to share what's going on and be met in that, that's when the growth happens. I see it every week. I have calls for women as well who are going through betrayal trauma, the trauma experienced when a betrayal is discovered. We meet at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays. We just got done with both the calls tonight. And those are facilitated by myself and other female contributors. We had one on tonight. She's amazing. Her name is Barb. If you know, you know. Barb's the best. And it's a great place to heal. Again, the couples who I see make the most progress the fastest are where they both get involved in some sort of intentional process. I've got my process. Other people have a process. Just do something. It's not going to fix itself. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the link in my bio, schedule a discovery call, which is a 30-minute call for $1. We can talk about your situation a little bit more. And if I can help or point you in another direction and or just get you in one of the groups. So thank you all for the Merry Christmas wishes. It will be a Merry Christmas. And thank you for all of you. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for contributing. And as always, make it a great day or not. The choice is always yours. Bye-bye.